you've ever been interested in the documentation of an auction machine from pickup through testing and into real use, then follow along. Hey everybody, it's Arl from Arl House, and what I have behind me is the auction machine that I picked up. You saw earlier in the video. It is now in my garage. I chose this as a typical auction machine to review for you guys, and we're going to go over it today. That's going to be part one in a multiple video series. Today we're just going to kind of show what this is made up of. Let's get into what we got here. As I said, it's a typical auction machine. I took the cover off the rear, and I'll tell you guys that it's really a series of 10, 13, 14, and 15 millimeter bolts that hold things on here. As you guys can see, this is the Ratto 420 engine. There is a ton of room back here. There is your gear style hydraulic pump, and in there you can see the slew motor for the rotation of the machine. Over here we've got the hydraulic tank and fill area. Now, the reason that I had to take the cover off, that was twofold. One was the choke. Now, the choke cable, it's just a simple, your normal choke lever. It comes down through here and snakes around right here to the choke on the side of the engine. The cable was literally frozen because it had been sitting outside, so I had they had ice in there, so I had to take it off and I had to basically thaw it out. But the other issue happened to be that the pin that goes through here was actually too big, and they had just put a zip tie, so I ultimately bore that out a little bit, put it in, and now everything is working fine. The other thing I did was I drained all the fuel from here. So that is something that I recommend you do if you're picking up an auction machine, especially one that was sitting outside for probably close to a year. Which then leads me to this, and I'll be with you guys in a second. So this is a suction testing pump. I ordered a kit from Blackstone. It comes free of charge in a bag with the outer bottle. This will be the bottle that we put the samples in. And what I will be doing is sending out samples of both the hydraulic fluid and the engine oil that came with the machine the way it was. So we're going to get to the bottom of what is, what type of quality is it coming shipped over with, because there's a lot of debate on that. So that'll be something that we have ready for you guys in the next testing video segment. But let's go back to the machine and kind of go over everything. So here's your operator station. Very typical. You got a switch over here for your lights. You've got your hour meter here. Obviously, these are not pilot controls. These are regular hydraulics. These are for your digging operation and for rotation. This is for your tracks. These are for your tracks. The middle one is for the dozer blade. Now, moving on to here, you can see there's a lot of steel panels that are easily removed, and we're going to have to remove some of them, and I'm going to explain why in a second so you guys can see a little bit better. But like this, right, that is supposed to be your access for the battery, but it really doesn't give you very much access. In fact, I had to charge the battery, and I had to remove that. As we move over here, you've got your keys for your starter. You've got your main disconnect. We already kind of covered back here. Here's your throttle. Over here, this is your another panel, right? Supposed access panel here, but right, we really can't access the hydraulic tank there. So that's going to have to come off as well. Here you have your typical hydraulic sight glass that you'll find on these. And moving on, we've got our dozer blade. I'm going to, let me measure the width of the dozer blade. It is 36 inches. The machine tracks are probably the same. They should be. The track width, we're darn close. Yep, 36. This is obviously a fixed, it's a fixed track machine. Now I did choose a machine that had a top mounted cylinder. We may do something different on another machine, but I wanted to pick something like that for this time. You can kind of get an idea of the welds here. They're fairly consistent. We'll say fairly. You can see kind of some breaks there, a little bit. We've got 1/4-inch hydraulic hoses. They are routed on the inside. Now, there are no auxiliary hydraulics on this. There is also no thumb on this, although there's a welded bracket for the thumb if you choose to do that. We've got your typical bucket, which is 14-inch bucket, removable teeth, and we have a mixture of different style greasing ports. Here you've got the pin style, and then there's a few here that are like this one here, which you got your typical Zerk fitting there. Kind of what I would expect, you know, from a machine like this. So what I'm going to do is get some panels off, and then we'll get into this a little deeper. All right, I am back, and I have gotten all the panels off that I felt were necessary. All things considered, it probably took about 30 minutes to get everything off that I wanted to. We now have a much better view of things. The side panel would have to come off in order to access the battery, to get the battery out. And the top panel that was here would obviously be necessary in order to put a jump pack on it or a charger, which is what I had to do prior. Moving on, here is your valve block. Pretty straightforward here. Access is pretty good. You know, you just have a panel that was screwed or bolted on here, and you can get in at least at those hoses there. Something else that's important and comes up quite a bit, and that is the slew motor, which is right down here, coming loose, those bolts. I guess on some other machines, the access isn't as good. We're going to now see together how tight this is. I haven't tried it yet. So let me get my ratchet on there. There's been a lot of talk about putting on different types of thread lock. Okay, so that's tight. We're going to try all 4 of them. We'll get that from the other side. I'm back. I had a bit of a battery failure, so here we are. I've got, it's hard to see. Perhaps that's a little better with some light down there, and we're gonna, that's nice and tight too. Now the other 2, all right, let's get that out of there. I'll have to retrieve that in a minute. The other 2 are accessible now that I've got the panel off here. you can get to those other two back there. Makes it a lot easier. And I will double check for tightness myself in a bit. So moving on, let's take a look at the track mechanism. It's just a track tightening mechanism. On my other machine, it is a grease style. This one is your nut and bolt style. And you just take off the access panel there for that. Travel motor, I had to remove this protective cover, but here it is. In fact, it doesn't even really have a name on it. It just, or a model, it just says it's a orbital travel motor. Easily accessible there. And then lastly, we're going to take a look inside the hydraulic tank. And I took the bolts out here and I had to tap, the gasket was a little tight on there. I tapped it with the hammer, and then you guys will see what the fluid looks like straight from, hopefully you can get a good view, straight from the factory. I can see there's a horizontal filter in there. It looks like it's attached. Obviously another thing that is talked about quite a bit is welding slag or other debris inside the tank. That I will figure out as I drain it. First I'm going to grab the sample from there like I talked about, and then I'm going to change the fluid and then change the oil. So I recorded after I drained the fluid with my iPhone, which shows you that there's a little piece of the gasket seal that they put around there. Other than that, the filter was intact and the inside of the tank was surprisingly clean. That pretty much takes us through the entire inspection of the machine. This, I think, is a good representation of what you'll find at auction. I'll have the price up as well. I think that's a good, it's indicative of also what you could purchase this type of machine for. I guess regional things vary a little bit. I will get back to you guys on the next video where we will do some testing. So as always, I appreciate the feedback, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.